Amin Thompson is likely the reason why they might trade Jalen Green. About Jalen Green. Jalen Green averaged 21 points per game in the regular season. He was our top scorer. Jalen Green dropped to 13 points per game when he got to the playoffs with that one explosion when the team's best defender was off the floor.
Yep. Man, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I might get hate for this, but it was giving me hardnitis.
Yeah, that was my thing. That was my thing.
Flashbacks, dog. Flashbacks.
So a lot of people want to trade Jalen Green and they out on Jalen Green. I'm not one of those people.
Okay.
Why am I not one of those people? Because I'm a survivor.
I'm a survivor
of about 9 years representing Houston Rockets with a man named James Harden, who also proceeded to stink up a Game 7 this weekend with Jalen Green. James Harden had us hopeful going into the playoffs almost every season for a decade because he played well enough to be a championship player.
Yep.
But when it was time to play at a high level,
when it matters,
just play at his average, he was a lesser player.
Yeah.
And he still is to this day.
Yeah.
He recorded a Game 7 this weekend as the second best player. He only took 8 shots the whole game, made 2 of them.
Bro, you can't do that. You can't do that.
I think this was another game where he had more turnovers than shots made. So
yeah, man.
That's crazy.
Well, like I said, the same thing as Jalen. I still remember one of my favorite high school coaches told me this. Great players want the ball in their hands in crunch time.
Yeah.
If you're not if you don't.
Away.
Yeah, man.
He shied away from it. But I'm ready to give him another shot or two because this is his first time in the playoffs.
Well, I think you're going to have to convince Ime on that one, bro. Because Ime said he looked like a deer in headlights. I don't know if he said his name exactly, but he said the moment was too big for certain players and he looked like a deer in headlights.
It looked like the moment was too big for a lot of players out there. So it looked like deer in headlights a little bit. Either look soft or...
I didn't catch that part, but he was right.
Yeah.
He's right.
Yeah.
I would not argue with that assessment because that's exactly what it was. Some guys, it was their first time.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's one and done. You can't,
They won 52 games. That shows you they're good enough to win most games.
True.
When it's their first time, I think like a guy like Jalen Green, here's the thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here's the thing. Jalen Green dropped to 13 points per game this series, 29% from 3, 37% field goal shooting, and 66% from the free throw line. And this is an 81% free throw shooter in the regular season.
Okay.
This is effectively a player becoming a completely lesser version of himself when he needs to be just himself.
Yep.
Some players are even so great that they elevate their level of play. Guys like Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, and Jalen Brunson. There's a lot of these guys who you'll notice their numbers.
They thrive. Yeah, they thrive in the limelight. They ready to go. Yo.
Jalen Green showed that where he is right now, that wasn't the case. But again, we dealt with that from James Harden.
Yeah, he's young.
He, even with time to grow, he never became anything different. So as a Houston fan, you got to sympathize with other Houston fans who don't want to go through that again.
I agree with you there. I agree with that. You got to give him some time, man. I mean, I agree there, but I also, how much time? What if we give him too much time and then the trade value of him goes down?
Yeah.
People like him right now. Yeah. Even with the performers, I still think you get a team that goes, "Oh, he's the guy."
Yeah. But I think so too.
For me, I don't know.
You think he could lower his trade value
over time?
Over time.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to be worried about because that can totally happen.
Yeah. I mean, it could get us into talking about trades, but I mean, I don't know, man. I think that his trade value is high right now.
Yeah,
I think it's real high. And then we got the draft coming up too. So it's like,
and his
what do we do?
Contract kicks in next season.
Yeah. And there's a lot of free agents out here. Yeah. Maybe not the ones that we want, but
there's a good amount. There's a good amount. Let's move on and talk about it.
All right.
Because the status of the Rockets, if we can wrap this up, I want to say that they overachieved. The Rockets went from they traded James Harden.